the real problem was hormones, not hunger. So the pyramid didn't just push carbs, it pushed insulin constantly. Cereal for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch, pasta for dinner. And don't forget your healthy snacks every 2 to 3 hours. Here's how to start a global health crisis in 5 easy steps. Step 1, blame fat. Step 2, tell people to eat more carbs, more carbohydrates. Step 3, build a food pyramid based on cereal, crackers, and toast. Step 4, add a heart-healthy label to sugary granola. And then finally, step 5, ship that nonsense worldwide. Now, boom, you've just invented a global obesity crisis. So thank you everyone for watching. My name is Dr. Mark Shankman. This is the Obesity Project, episode 99. They said it was healthy. Now the whole world is dying. So let's start off with the pyramid scheme. Back in 1977, the US released official dietary guidelines. And instead of telling people to eat real food, they told us things like fat is dangerous and carbs are the foundation of a healthy diet. Cereal, it's basically a vitamin. Well, let's look at the research. In the BMJ in 2015, Teicholz et al., turns out those guidelines weren't based on solid science. They were based on politics, weak studies, and industry influence. So imagine if your mechanic told you to pour soda in your gas tank. That's basically what happened with nutrition. So then to make matters worse, we made it everyone's problem. And here's the real kicker. The US didn't just ruin its own health, it exported this advice worldwide. Our food pyramid, it became the global playbook. Things like the World Health Organization, UN food aid programs, and school lunches in every time zone were affected by this global playbook, our food pyramid. So in Lancet Global Health in 2020, they showed that ultra-processed food is now the top calorie source across the planet, thanks in part, of course, to US influence. And in just over 40 years, we've seen things based on this brilliant nutrition plan. We saw obesity tripled, type 2 diabetes exploded, and heart disease still the #1 killer despite these great nutrition recommendations. So we used to send democracy in denim. Now it's insulin resistance and Oreos. All right, so the real problem was hormones, not hunger. So the pyramid didn't just push carbs, it pushed insulin constantly. Cereal for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch, pasta for dinner. And don't forget your healthy snacks every 2 to 3 hours. There was a study in JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association, in 2007 that demonstrated that high carb, low fat models, nutrition models, raise triglycerides, drop HDL, and drive insulin resistance. So this wasn't about culture or willpower. This was biochemical sabotage baked right into our government policy. So you might be asking yourself, wow, that sounds pretty awful. What can I do to, fix the problem? Here's what you can do besides throwing away your old textbooks. Here's how you undo 50 years of dietary damage. So first thing you want to do is flip that pyramid. You want to prioritize things like proteins and fat. You want to eliminate those seed oils or oils that have to be produced in chemical plants to create them, clearly not a natural source of oil. And you eliminate those seed oils and sugar. You want to stop snacking every 2 hours. You need to allow those insulin levels to come down. Remember, hyperinsulinemia or elevated insulin levels are going to jack and raise your insulin. And when your insulin is very high, hyperinsulinemia, that tells your body to store energy, food energy coming in as fat. And of course, you want to eat real food that your great grandma could pronounce. So remember, if your food has a mascot, it's not food. All right, so this has been episode 99 of the Obesity Project. They said it was healthy. Now the whole world is dying. The global health crisis wasn't an accident. It was built on outdated science, corporate influence, and good intentions gone horribly awry. But the solution? Well, that's really simple. Eat like a human again. Burn fat like you were designed to do. And ignore the advice that got us into the mess in the first place. So don't forget, here on the Obesity Project, we're cutting through the myths and getting to the root. So make sure to stay tuned for our milestone event, episode 100, next video. Fasting benefits and what happens to your body. We'll be kicking off our 10-part fasting and health series and also celebrating our 100th episode of Truth Bombs, Root Cause Medicine, and Metabolic Clarity. So thank you so much for watching. I absolutely appreciate your time and your energy and your effort. Appreciate your attention, and make sure to stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, like, share, and comment, and let's keep the story going. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.